I want to explore a really challenging idea with you today. It's this thought that the very concept of love we've all been raised on might actually be a huge, dangerous misunderstanding.
I mean, what if the kind of love you practice, the type you think is so good and so noble, is actually the very thing that's holding you back, or even worse, destroying your future? That's a huge question, I know, but we have to go there.
Because what if the greatest spiritual danger we face isn't something obvious, like hatred? What if it's something way more sneaky, way more deceptive? What if it's a sentimental kind of love, the kind that feels so right, but leads us completely off the cliff?
So, to really wrap our heads around this, we have to first break down what this dangerous love even is. And the thing is, it's the version of love we see all around us. It's in the movies, it's in our music, it's baked into how we think we're supposed to treat people. And you look at this list, and on the surface, it sounds great. Stay loyal, be nice, don't hurt people, stand by them no matter what. I mean, who could argue with any of that, right? But here's the catch. This definition is missing a huge piece of the puzzle. It's a version of love that puts comfort way ahead of truth. It's all about protecting the relationship, not about doing what's actually right. So, let's put these two ideas head to head. What happens when we put the world's definition of love right next to a divine one? Well, the difference is everything. Sentimental love, its main goal is to preserve the relationship no matter what. It's all about comfort, being nice, and definitely avoiding any kind of confrontation. But divine love, it has a totally different goal: to align people with God. It operates with both kindness and justice. It's not afraid to confront what's wrong, not to shame, but to bring about real restoration. And this leads us to a really tough conclusion. If the love we're showing someone just helps them get more comfortable on a path that's leading them away from God, is that really love? Or are we just deceiving them, and maybe even deceiving ourselves?
You know, there's a powerful story from the Bible that shows us exactly how this plays out. It's the tragic story of Jonathan. And it's a heartbreaking case study of what happens when you pick the wrong kind of love.
Now, the thing about Jonathan is he wasn't confused, he wasn't in the dark, he had total clarity. He knew his own father, King Saul, was rejected by God, and he knew that David was God's chosen one to be the next king. The truth was crystal clear to him.
But even with all that clarity, you can just feel his internal struggle, can't you? You can almost hear him thinking, but that's my father. I can't just abandon him. I have to be loyal. He felt that deep pull of sentiment, of human loyalty, and he chose it over divine alignment. And that one choice, that single decision to put loyalty to his father over loyalty to God's plan, it cost him absolutely everything. He lost his life fighting for a man God had already rejected. He lost his destiny to rule. And he lost his rightful spot next to the real king, David. And this is so important to get. Jonathan was a loving person. His problem wasn't a lack of love. His tragedy was that he chose the wrong kind of love, a love that honored a man more than it honored God. Okay, so let's bring this out of ancient history and into our lives right now, because this danger, the danger of sentiment, is just as real for you and me today.
So how does this whole cycle of destruction even work? Well, it usually starts with a good intention. You don't want to hurt someone's feelings, so you just stay quiet about their choices. But when you stay quiet, you're actually reinforcing their behavior. Their heart gets harder because it's never been lovingly challenged. And in the end, their destiny, and maybe even your own, gets destroyed.
So this is the really hard question we have to ask ourselves. We think we're loving them, right? We think we're being supportive and kind. But are we actually just helping them stay comfortable on a road that leads further and further away from God? Okay, so if sentimental love is the problem, what's the answer? Well, the answer is to really understand the true nature of divine love. And the best way to do that is to look at God's own example. I mean, think about what happened right after Adam's fall in the garden. God didn't just shrug it off. No, he confronted the sin head on. He brought judgment. But then, in the very next breath, he showed incredible kindness by making clothes for them. And then he immediately put a plan for restoration into motion. See, it wasn't one or the other. It was this perfect blend of all three. So there it is. That's the formula. Divine love isn't just kindness, and it's not just justice. It's the fusion of kindness and justice working together for one single purpose: righteousness, to make things right.
And that brings this whole big idea right down to your front door. This now becomes about you.
I really want you to take a second and seriously think about this. In your life right now, Who are you being Jonathan to? Who are you enabling out of this misplaced sense of loyalty?
Let me ask it another way. Who are you staying loyal to, even when you know, deep down in your gut, that they are not walking on the right path with God? Who are you letting slide just to avoid an uncomfortable conversation?
Because here's the bottom line. It's a hard truth, but it's the truth. If the love you are giving someone isn't, in some way, moving them closer to God, then it isn't actually love. It's a spiritual trap. For them and for you.
So that's the choice we have to make every single day. We can choose the easy, comfortable path of sentiment, or we can choose the much harder path of divine love. And yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. It might even cost you a relationship. But it's the only kind of love that truly honors God, and it's the only kind of love that actually leads to life.